nu var en söderklocka. Jakob sänder ljudet där. Men om inte de nu är det ingen kommentator på. Nu är det våra när det är kommentator mot det starkare. Vi ska bara ha lite. Men det ska inte tjafsa som våra spelare. Det var guys.
Thank you for joining us for the EUF Summer Tour in this division. So we see Dublin Gravity taking on SMOG here in Malmö. So Gravity to start us off on offence, flowing all the way through. Very easy to begin this game. And a solid hold. So far in the tournament, Dublin Gravity with 2 wins, 1 loss. SMOG, the reverse of those fortunes, currently sat 2nd and 4th spot respectively in this pool of 6 teams, making the journey across to Sweden. You can see Gravity there in those very fetching pink jerseys. So you just see them arranging their next set of 7. So Gravity, as the name suggests, a Dublin-based side. Of course, one of 2 Dublin-based women's teams this season. Flame also coming out of Ireland. The pull there from O'Neill. To see Thompson and Morrison just going every other, exploiting those slightly soft marks. It's going to require a bigger rundown, but unfortunately can't quite make the catch. Colenso with a bit of an overthrow. So O'Neill immediately getting it gunning towards the end zone. Oh, it's going to be a touch too far. But you can see what Gravity want to do there on their counter-attacks, make things nice and quick. Don't give their opposition any way back in as Thompson brings it to the front line. So again, SMOG happy to exploit those 2 hands. This time it's going to be Thompson with the ripper to the deep space. Has Hunt. And plenty of room, of course. 2 GB athletes of different divisions. As the hand and movement gets stifled by an excellent mark. Claire Gilheaney. Of course, the elder Gilheaney sister over in the US. Playing the US Open with their flip side. Seems a little bit more fair. You only get one Gilheaney sister. Of course, both of them are very, very talented. I joke, of course, we'd love to have both of them here, but that one's going to be a bit too far for O'Neill to collect. The second point of this game. A real tussle out here. A corkscrew, but a pick off by O'Neill. Fantastic work from Leanne. Doesn't have to boost available immediately. Sitting all the way into that pivot. Oh, that's a little sneak away. Gilheaney finds the target up line. Serena. Oh, that's going to require the rundown. What a fantastic recovery. And then just floats it beautifully over the heads. Kate Daly, my goodness, what an absolute lightning reaction that was. So 2 on the board for Dublin Gravity to start this game off. As I said, both these teams have played 3 games so far. Mixed fortunes yesterday. Dublin Gravity started off squeaking a win over Seagulls of Hamburg, 10-11. Then a 15-8 win over Copenhagen Hucks, but lost to Atletico 15-7. Of course, it's a shame to think that Atletico might not get all the qualification games they need for the EUCF later this season with the change to the EUCS ranking system. Results-wise for SMOG, it was 15-4 over Aarhus, then 14-9 to Atletico and 12-10 over SMOG. So based on yesterday's results, this should be a very, very close game indeed. So that was SMOG's O-line out for quite some time in the last point. As the sideline says, don't go too deep. Thompson absolutely ripping it. That is perfectly weighted into the path of Maya Israel, former Spice player, now with this SMOG side. And that was a much faster offensive point. You love to see it. So a fantastic throw from Thompson, hitting Maya Israel, who's been playing frisbee for longer than most in the UK. Picked up the sport at the age of 14 with the school team Rice Frisbees.
Kolla ställningen.
So, second look at the SMOG D-line. Hannah Quinn there just giving instructions. Who's readying for the pull is Lara Murray of Sheffield. Plays in the mixed division with Sheffield Steel this year. Of course, this is SMOG's iteration. It's a great rundown of the pull. Pugh distributing with ease up that far sideline. Bit of spoil there, just bubbles off their hands. There's Slovets. So can SMOG put us back on serve here? They are missing one of their goals on the scoreboard. They have scored that lovely big huck from Thompson. Quinn shoots up the far sideline, but it's too much squeeze. Never really managed to swing it across to SMOG during that defensive point. That's a lovely inside channel leader straight into the upline huck. It's going to be a tricky one to run down and cannot be connected with. Loads of boost. I think that was Kavanagh underneath it. So that'll be Hyde, trained medical doctor. Been very tight on those hander cuts, not really giving Hyde too much to work with. Just popping through, nice gallop. A little bit tentative from Bottomley. Nice run down there, that's a beautiful lead. Oh, spicy single-handed grab. Now everyone clustering through a little bit. Bond just squeezing it through. Going up the line. Oh, that's a really nice little bit of offence there. After things looked a little bit sticky, Laura Murray able to find Bond's cut. And it's smooth sail through. Just get another look at that final little bit of offence from SMOG's D-line. They're going to level us up, putting this game back on serve. Dublin Gravity, of course, with that small advantage, starting the game on offence. So it will be the D-line of SMOG's job to do to get that extra break of score. Because they can't just simply trade this one all the way out. It's the advantage you get by putting the first point on the board. So Gravity with an overthrow on the upline. Oh, that's great defence to win the disc back. There's going to be a discussion, perhaps a foul call there. So popping that one back. Not to be. So Gravity going up line, trying to find the same pocket that SMOG did on their previous offence. Gilheeney. Yep, see that strike through, but that's a really great read by Hannah Quinn, denying the score. Lara Murray with the high grab. Boost towards the end zone, but a little bit too much fire on it. Gravity firing a big shot into the end zone, and again it's all about these reads from the D-line of SMOG this morning. Hyde through. Now they're going to shoot up this sideline, but again a little bit too much. That was double coverage. I mean, Lara Murray is very good, but a tricky one when you're sandwiched between the likes of Claire Pugh and Emily Kavanagh. So running it all the way down. Can they support each other? That one just about held on to. You trying to go for some delicate footwork, that might be called back on a strip. Of course, the disc is an extension of the player when it's still in their hands, so it's whether that one was released before the contact or not. Excellent use of hand signals from behind the disc. So an accepted foul, and possession will be retained.
Matthias.
So a little bit too much dancing behind them, almost running out of time there, but just about squeeze it through. That's a big old backhand break across the bows, and Gravity maintain their lead. So everything on serve here in this women's matchup between SMOG and Dublin Gravity. Malmo, local conditions, pretty good for a game of ultimate. As SMOG again exploiting the looser cup at the front of the zone. Although it's actually more like a handler sag now we see the downfield. Everyone else playing pretty solid match. But then so on the far sideline, through to Hunt. Thompson reaches deep. And that it will be a turnover, just escaping our view. A little bit of a stumble on the mark. Trying to wind up and find something for yardage. Just sends it into the pack. Over the top. Very narrowly missed though. Kate Daly underneath it. Emily O'Brien though. Running out of time and room. And Thompson to get us back on the way. The sideline giving clear instructions not to allow any backhands out. So we go for the scuba instead from Thompson. Big shot all the way into the deep space. There was a target available. Great hold on from Colenso and then just pops it into the bank. Collecting the goal. That was a great hold from Elizabeth Colenso underneath it. And one of these deep shots pays off for SMOG. They've not been too lucky with them. Another look at that. Great catch. And then just straight to business for the goal. So SMOG all smiles. Levelling us up 3 apiece. So of course, all about trying to get yourself up through the standings here. But playing tight games won't hurt either. As you say, these two sides having very similar results so far. It's all about trying to get themselves a solid spot later on this season. With this newly changed format for the EUCS series. Well, it's a very tight window. They manage it and launch down the far sideline. That one is going to be beautifully collected. A clean hold for Dublin Gravity. Great throwing finesse. See, again, that is not a comfortable window to grind that up line into, but very difficult to defend. And that little bit of a turn off. There was some poaching into the lane from SMOG, but nothing to stop Bogus Lovett from reeling in that goal. So swift pace for the Dubliners. They get some line calling. Looks to be a laundry on that left hand of the clipboarded player. Not showing up on our roster, so we can't give the creds, but always lovely to see players still staying on the sidelines. So O'Neill with a big ripper pull. Hopefully our view will update. Or SMOG might get it all the way back down here. Thompson. Pushing it through. Israel working. It's like fast release. You can tell she's been throwing frisbees for over a decade. Oh, sneaky inside shot. Love that one. Finds Tessa Hunt with ease. And things just moving smoothly now. We're starting to get some clean offence out of both sides. A little bit of maybe a sock comparison behind the shot there. A nice inside flow. Off the hands of Alice Hampton, former GB player. Well, I say former, of course. She has played for GB in the past, notably the beach squad back in 2019. Many of these SMOG players representing Great Britain at various stages. And of course, on the gravity side, a couple of those gold medal athletes from 2019 endured Ireland's first ever gold medal at the European level. They've had a silver before in mixed. And of course, we get our little extra bit of information. It's Michelle Balance with the clipboard on the sidelines. Thank you ever so much to our little fans, keeping us flush with the facts. Pick up that broken wrist at All Ireland's, probably doing something amazingly cool, of course. So running a little bit out of options, but again, holding their fire. Fantastic layout. Makes that look so easy and immediately pops up from the floor. And they're going to boost it again, sailing high. There's so much loft underneath that one, and it is defended well at the last moment. No opportunity there for Pugh to recover it. So Bond starting things off for SMOG. Hyde on the far side. Now SMOG starting to make good yards. Fantastic hands. Quinn just resetting gently. Oh, that's very, very tight defense. They didn't quite manage it though. Gone now with the swing. You can see great switch offs here from Gravity to nullify those immediate throw and goes. Trying to frustrate things. Oh, that's a big old scoop. There was backup in the deep space from Quinn, but it's going to be Lucy Hyde, and that is SMOG's first break of the game.
Yeah.
So after quite a wait, SMOG managed to punch in that defensive break. And a timeout being called, presumably by Gravity, to try and stop any momentum here. Welcome back to the action here at the Summer Tour in Malmö, Sweden. Both these teams making the journey across from the islands in the north and western part of the Europe. There's one from the north of England and the other from Ireland. Of course, it's all changed this season. Dublin Gravity, of course, former UK national champions, having obviously previously attended and qualified through to Europe, as we saw the little advert there for the EUCS later this season, the championship finals. Having won UK nationals, that used to be, of course, the EUCR West qualifier. SMOG not yet taken that title in the women's division, but had a pretty good run at it this year. Some very close games, some very topsy-turvy results in the women's division back in UK. Of course, that tournament moved a little bit earlier in the calendar this year by virtue of the World Championships happening later on in the Gold Coast. So Gravity currently find themselves down for the first time in this game. Daly on the far sideline. 2 through. That's a lovely snag from Kavanagh. Originally hailing from Canada, and that is perfectly weighted. Wow, I tell you what. Some of the points in this game have been absolutely scintillating. Just get another look at this rundown. Just pops that hand out at the last moment and reels it in with ease. So that will level us up at 5 apiece. SMOG with that narrow advantage, but of course they will also come out on offence in the second half. O'Neill just picking up the disc there and cleaning it off. Slightly damp conditions here in Sweden, but we are glad to have you alongside watching this women's division game. At the top of the standings at the moment, it is Atletico. Gravity taking a win here would allow them to hold on and get a rematch later today. Of course, we just did merge straight out of pool play into final placement games as rematches. Of course, based on the current standings and results so far, one would expect that Gravity would take a win against Aarhus Ultimate, who didn't have the best game against SMOG yesterday. Thompson, again, is that anchor handler for this O-line, working alongside Hampton. Morrison now. Reacher on the far sideline. Looking for an option, has the reset all the way around the back. Struggling to find too much against this zone. And it is a zone this time, but that one into the path of Ava Grossman after the creative shot from Thompson opened up the field. As we mentioned, things a little bit slippery underfoot. Some wet conditions causing players to clean the disc off, but nothing like the kind of conditions that are really going to give a zone a true advantage. So Hannah Quinn there calling the next line for SMOG's defence. Quinn, of course, part of that EUIC squad that went to Lithuania some moons ago. Loves her a bit of indoors. So, oh, there we go, talking about our inclement conditions. We have got a warning on the fields. Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. Of course, thunder in itself is okay, but it's the lightning flashes. If they happen too close to the field site, then things get pushed back. But hopefully this game can continue. Foul call there, Quinn immediately accepts it. Getting a little bit too much touch. Now swinging all the way around the back, Gilheaney. We said a big thanks if you're watching this one. So Emily Kavanagh there with just a time to consider her options as the players upfield sort themselves out. Of course, sad not to have Alyssa Sutherland as well, another of those North American players. Nice ups on the far side for Kate Daly. Pick. As sources would suggest that is Barron wearing the number 97. But we're going into territory of some detective work there, because there isn't a number 97 on our roster sheet. Normally plays in 27, according to our list, but a little moment of pause. Plenty of picks so far in this point. So back in play. Gilheaney, round the back. Oh, love that little low immediate release on the backhand. Now just shooting up that line, not quite able to get it in time. Would have required a full face, no fear, just flop layout. Like you get in the NFL. Little toe drag swag, but perhaps not the moment to be risking one's body to injury in such a fashion, because those ones do hurt. So Gravity looking to get the short field turnover if they can, and they are going to be delivered. It just a little spoil there from the handler set after excellent pressure and poaching off. But it's going to be Pugh just with a truss ball to Daly. Little stumble there, but she pops out from the undergrowth. So Gravity holding on to that one.
Time over.
And the timeout being called. So of course, it's all about game management, making sure that you are using your rests and your breaks to just take your time, think about things. So here at the Summer Tour in Malmö, we have a high arcing pole. I have to say it's been one of the real strengths of this Dublin Gravity team, very consistent with the ball game. You'll see Grossman with a little stumble on the far sideline. Channels that one through to Thompson, who's playing behind the pocket for a change as we see more of this gravity zone. Of course, it's always a fun one to put your big anchor power handlers ahead of that front set. Oh, and it's an over-the-top shot. Cheeky scuba from Thompson, finding Grossman with ease. You can see those two, some of the OG players for SMOG back in their mixed days. Will the mixed days return? Is yet to be seen. Of course, it's been a really great performance for both the open and the women's teams. Now that they've split into the slightly, I mean, we talk about single gender divisions, less prescriptive divisions, just different. Of course, open is the only unrestrictive division of Ultimate Frisbee. No one cares what your identity is there, just as long as you like playing Ultimate. But women's all about the female matching athletes. See Plasma Scott there just leaving your view. Mosley coming off the pitch there. It's also wonderful to see in the women's division so many more non-playing coaches getting involved, adding that supportive opinion. So SMOG looking to take half here. Of course, if we do end up with lightning delays here in Malmö, then getting into half-time is very important, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. With a little throw on the go. Bailey. That's a high release, but too high for even Gilhini to reach to. And this to take half with a commanding lead and try and reverse their fortunes from yesterday. Pick. So we see Quinn with possession at centre field. Little scoop toss. Murray back into Quinn to Bond. Always looking for these up lines. Oh, that one tracked well with their head, but unfortunately it's a swing and a miss for Naomi Bond. And we see this time it's SMOG doing some poaching into the lanes to try and stifle that initial handler movement. Sutherland, silky smooth flick. Now Hugh with that soft inside break for the backhand. Paris Levats unfortunately throws into traffic. We are going to have a foul call. That one definitely was not for intended for the eventual receiver. It is a great pick-off though from Alex Newmer. But was there enough on that throw in the first place? So accepted foul or contested? Lots of different hand signals from different folks. So I think the ones we'll trust will be from Lara Murray. So it looks like an accepted foul. Oh no, okay. So must be contested because we are coming in with a stall. So back in on 6. And we have an action replay. This time it is going to be an accepted foul. Barron sitting on that flick side for quite some time, but eventually Gilhini escapes to offer relief, and that is perfect footwork from Claire Pugh. Shoots, scores, and that one will do to keep this half alive. Another look at that one after a couple of calls. In terms of just positive attitude, it's so easy to get frustrated when there's a second call in a row, but Murray all smiles. Great communication and vibes between these two teams. So now, of course, very important, as we said, not to concede the advantage for the second half, because of course SMOG in a position to get a buy one get one free, as we see the line called for the defence. And next up we've got Gilheany and Daly coming over for a double helping, as well as Kavanagh. So, a Galaxy point situation. So a big D point here for Dublin Gravity. And again, lovely depth on the pole. Not quite all the way in the end zone, but certainly a far cry from that brick mark. SMOG trying to use the good give and go. That one had plenty of flobble wobble on it from Gigi Morrison. Right, Israel, confidence in that catch on the far sideline. Nice find hitting Colenso. Another poach off into the lane from Daly. Trying to be smart with her positioning. Work smarter, not harder, but it's going to be a big throw into the end zone. What an amazing pickoff that is, and the smack away defence. Talk about a heads-up play. We've seen so many hucks in this game. And Emily Kavanagh says no. Kavanagh, of course, originally from Ottawa in Canada. Currently plays for UCC. Studying medicine. Big shout out to all of her teammates for under 20s and under 24s, and as well her fans at home watching. Her mum, we love the Frisbee mums and dads, and Laurie as well. So our first opportunity to bring this one back on serve in the last moments of the first half. Great flow up the far sideline. Both teams really just favouring, just exploiting the open side, although that one is a nice little slicer. Trying to stay connected. And again, those slight soft inside breaks really hurting SMOG, but it's going to be the break to finish off the first half. Dublin Gravity reclaiming their 1 point lead. And that is a big part of it, right in the centre of your view there. But also those inside breaks were just really lovely. Irene Serna, especially that just sort of silky inside that sort of set this one up for Daly. Hats off to Israel trying to get that block. But a half-time scoreline of 8-7. We'll just update our board for you, no probs. Gravity taking half, but not looking entirely certain. Well, you can just see the rain starting to fall. We have reached the second half of this matchup between SMOG and Dublin Gravity. Also, very important, if we do have that lightning cancellation of the game, of course, we hope to have delays rather than cancellations, but we truly hope to not have any mischief whatsoever. But you can hear the positive vibes from the sidelines being picked up by our pitch mic. And a big welcome to you if you're joining us for the second half of the action here. Pretty tight first stage. Dublin starting out on offence to get the game going. But we quickly had a change of fortunes midway through that they've had to grind back with some line management, squad selection. So SMOG to just try and keep themselves level here. Oh, that's a bit of a feisty shot over to the far side from Helen Thompson. We talked about Canadian athletes for Gravity. Of course, Thompson, one of two twins, originally hailing from North America, but the North. Hunt puts a bit too much gas on that one, and great movement from the defenders just to make sure that one is shepherded into the floor. So O'Neill, we've seen throw so many big boosting hucks. Unfortunately, throws into the defenders. Colenso there with the read. Now Thompson, Panton. Panton doesn't like that small window. We've seen Gravity happily throw into that one. Oh, but that's a really quick response. Great eyes and great hands from Natasha Lim to keep the disc flowing. And that didn't look certain, didn't look settled. But this is exactly what we want from these two teams. A nice, intense, close game. As we already said, their results from yesterday, very similar. So coming out here this morning, looking to try and snatch a win away. And of course, both these teams not used to the Central European time zone. It's only an hour's difference, but for the morning game, it can feel extra unpleasant to have to get yourself out of bed at the equivalent of what feels like 1 hour earlier, and on a weekend, no less. So everything level up. See the run down there from Bond. Very intense indeed. And we're getting more sagging off of the handler lanes, but honest match coverage downfield. Gravity getting lots of relatively easy underneaths. Oh, that's a little bit of spice though to add to the mixer. Great shot all the way downtown. Emily Kavanagh with the view. Well, that looks to be Gilhini collecting. See, just that little sneak away, hitting the soft side of the pitch. The throw really has to be on the money for that. You saw as we opened up the coverage of this second half, a little bit of rain falling in front of the lens of our camera. Of course, slippery conditions out here in Sweden. You can see some of the other teams just warming up, getting themselves ready to go. This is open and women's division here in Sweden. Of course, this change to the calendar means smaller events, but listed across Europe, dusted, as we say. Our first year of the new qualification structure towards the European Ultimate Championship finals, which will be in Ostend in Belgium. Just had to see the ball being run down there. Well handled on the catch. Thompson can just get that extra bit of yardage. You can see the sort of arrowhead almost at the front. Really allows them to be aggressive with their positioning. Going to be forcing sideline, so forcing out. Immediate throw and go, and again it's really paying off for both sides. That quick movement out of the hand of space and off towards the end zone. This time it's Tessa Hunt getting the job done. Making sweet music. This time not with her violin, just with her ultimate frisbee playing. Of course, Tessa Hunt, lesser known fact, violinist in a ska band. And of course, no stranger to Ultimate Championship wins. Got herself one back in 2019 in the GB mixed squad. And a silver medal last year with GB women. It was a bit of a hard knocks though, back in Jerd. Tournament conditions aside, the GB mixed squad had quite a few injuries. Including, can you believe, a tooth that ended up in another person's body, which is not something you see very often, thankfully. Of course, non-contact sport, collisions do happen. So Baron centering that one to Q. And that's going to be a big old boost soaring into the back pocket. Oh, that's going to work out though. Another exceptional read from Gravity. Little hand slap behind her. But Sonia Perez-Slavets with a really solid goal. So we talked about Gravity being obviously a Dublin-based squad, but they have been collecting players from all across Ireland. Sort of just allowing the rest of their fellow countrywomen to come and play the EUCF calendar. Some players just hanging out in Dublin for the summer to get those extra reps together. Because, of course, for the athletes based over in Cork, they would normally play their ultimate for Rebel. Great seeing coming out of one of these little pockets of Ireland. And of course, Irish women get to play quite a lot of different sports back home. I think camogie is the name of the equivalent to hurling. And certainly if you speak to fellow ultimate commentator Liam Grant, he'll tell you about a really great hurling game that happened not too long ago, if you're a fan of County Clare. Oh, that's going to go reaching over the top though. Israel underneath it. So both teams getting that extra bit of fortuitousness. Colenso pops. Now it's Grossman trying to go for that run through, but just over the goal line, hops the feet of Helen Thompson, and that will keep us all levelled up here, 10 apiece. As we have just under 12 minutes of regulation time remaining. Of course, usual rules here, format-wise, game to 15. If you can get there in the time allotted. And we are starting to see the pace of these points increase. The first half featured a couple of grinders with multiple turnovers. Things starting to clean up a little bit. So you see Hunt striding towards the line, but then pausing. Well, that would be a pull across to play defence, but we figure it out eventually. Quinn again taking charge, instructing her teammates. Quinn formerly having played for Reading Ultimate in the mixed division. So we've known many of these SMOG athletes as competitors rather than teammates alongside. Oh, a little bit of a feist on that centering pass. But Barron easily able to handle it. That one well scooped by Kavanagh. The way Kavanagh always looks at the disc. Oh, and what a find that was, hunting for treasure downfield. Put that in your bucket and make sandcastles out of it. Gilheen is there. Easy find with the scuba. That went a little bit dicey. Oh, there we go. Talk about patience. Just waiting for your teammates to find you. And another distribution just over the goal line. Oh, that was a little bit cheeky to finish that one off, but excellent stuff from Gravity. Real shining patience there. Although, I suppose when you're playing in a hot pink jersey, there maybe is a slight advantage in terms of if you are finding yourself in plenty of space, just as Emily Kavanagh was. You don't necessarily need to fly your arms around too much. You can just wait for that contrast to emerge in the minds of your teammates. As you saw that little scramble for the last dish. See O'Neill there, ready for the next point. One of the long-standing members of this Gravity squad, and of course everyone's favourite women's party team. I mean, there are other options available, but none so pineapple themed as Diski. O'Neill, a big part of that. Another Cork-based individual. Both mixed veg as well as Rebel in her time. And our first out of bounds ball for quite some while. So a brick mark possession. Really using that speed of Israel. Flows so quickly across. Israel, one of the few Spice athletes moving north rather than south. They changed their training locations coming in for next season of Spice in the women's division. Moving from a Midlands base to a London base. There's an art fan backhand, love the cheek. Now this is a huge opportunity to take an advantage late in the game. This is Lynn there trying to lay out to grind possession back. Well, nearly thrown directly in the face of one's own teammate. A foul call underneath it. To be discussed. Tessa Hunt there taking the matchup over Emily O'Brien. Very difficult to tell from our view. So, Gilheeney just coming in to aid the discussion. It looks to be that Hunt thinks that contact was more sort of on the lower limbs. O'Brien signalling for the shoulder. I have a feeling this one might come back on a contest, just by length of the discussion now. So retracted, there we go, getting our hand signals right. So we did get a resolution that wasn't just a contest. And SMOG will get the opportunity once more to punch this one in and keep things all levelled up. Lim, I'll tell you what, the cameraman knew exactly what what the next option was going to be for SMOG's offence as they race up line now. Israel, I think she might have actually been in the end zone when she scored that, so there's a travel call. Thompson knew exactly what we all meant. Let's get another look. So look at the feet of Maya Israel. So she makes the catch there, but is all the way potentially in the end zone because obviously our angle on the camera view gives that extra bit of credence to it. So Israel will bring us back in on the goal line because you have to have your positioning in the central part of the field in order to throw into the end zone. Thompson calling for the reset. Galenso now going to go for that throw and go up line, but again, well stifled. Hunt puts that one nice and simple, but a little bit low for Lynn. Casual dish. Oh, and again, fantastic footwork from Helen Thompson. I mean, it looked like O'Neill has signalled the score. I mean, it looked great. Again, with our not perfect angle. That might have been on the line. O'Neill very happy with it. Well, I say happy. Obviously, the clear frustration from the missed opportunity to get the break. But after discussion with the rest of the players, Thompson's going to say that cleat was on the goal line and the line is out. Not like tennis. You have to be all the way into the box. But there you go, lefty dish. And this time that is picture perfect. on the landing for Helen Thompson, and it will be 11s with 3 minutes and change. Again, looking at that upline play. SMOG just grinding through it until they find one of them that works.
Jag ser. Tack.
So time starting to run out here in this women's game at the Summer Tour in Malmö. Hannah Quinn just talking matchups, presumably surveying the 7 at the other end of the field, setting up for Gravity's next offensive point. Everything back on serve after a little tussle in the midsection of the game. You can just hear the little sideline pitch mic picking up the chat, just checking the score. Well, this game on the far pitch has already finished. If I recognise those purple jerseys, that will have been Pucks of Copenhagen. But it's all about these two sides battling it out. Oh, that's a late stall throw. Oh my goodness. Is that going to pay off? Oh, yes, it is. Wow. Again, this little masterclass of assess and shoot we're getting from Kavanagh. Might be a call coming back. Stall out on that initial throw that just about escaped through. Well, I'm not surprised to see the call happening, but it's going to be contested. So coming back in, stalling 8. You can see again, I'll talk about spotting jerseys, of course. If you're playing a big tournament and you've got these pink shirts, it's easy to spot your friends if you're looking for them. We saw a little flash of the iconic burgundy of Hut just in the back of the shot previously. Of course, we're going for the more traditional black and white jerseys. So this time with Spoil, cannot connect with the cut up line from Barron. And SMOG with an opportunity just as the game clock will expire to get a very, very meaningful break indeed. You can see again, lots of sagging into the lanes from the players at the front for Gravity. It's going to be the boost from Bond. Oh, that's a really great speed underneath it from Numa. Well, what a huge momentum gainer this would be in the very last moments of regulation time. We've now had the clock expire. So finish this point and add 1 to the highest tally. Hanton. There's a pick call. I was going to say everyone else suspiciously static. As Parson Scott comes through to the underneath space. SMOG resetting with relative ease as we find the late stages of the game. Oh, that's a big old boost, and it's Lucy Hyde underneath it. A backhand break from Hanton, and that is SMOG putting themselves in front when it really matters here. Well, talk about timing. So game to 13, SMOG 12, 11 up. So are we going to see... Indeed, that is Copenhagen Hucks behind. We've just had a game against Seagulls of Hamburg. That one, I don't know if there was perhaps a different time start to this game. I would guess not. And we'll double check the schedule because, of course, all of the results from these games are available online. Massive thanks, as always, to all of the EUF staff. And indeed, that one went all the way to 15 in favour of Seagulls. So they take another win here at the Summer Tour. And in terms of course, how it looks for the overall picture of the season, we've got the ranking online. In fact, we've not talked about it yet. The expected scoreline in this game, based on the results thus far of these two opponents in front of us, now floating out for the last few moments, was supposed to be 15-12 SMOG. Oh, sorry, 15-13. We'll do some more fair rounding up. 15-13 based on the ranking algorithm. Of course, it was SMOG who won by 1 point last time. This to bring us to Universe. Oh, that's a big old ripper from Hugh. And a spin like a dirndl in the end zone. Or just shy, I should say. And it's going to be a quick give and go. Kate Daly backing it up after that amazing catch from Sonia Perez-Lavats. Spinning balletic style. And then again, these throw and goes. I mean, there's a reason you use them. They are very hard to shut down. You have that in a smaller space, that extra step from the offensive player moving quickly. Very hard to nullify. We've seen switching from both teams. The person on the mark just stepping away, covering that channel with their body. But power lines, I'm sure, from both squads as we head on into Universe, 12 apiece. This for the big win here and a chance to sit at the top of the standings. Of course, Atletico currently the only team not to have taken a single defeat in the championship. The Finns, former winners of the EUCF. Gravity, of course, medalists as well. Like that championship final stage. So this now, an out of bounds pull. Gravity have been pretty consistent with their pulls, but just coming off the boil slightly towards the end of the match. Thompson, of course, will be playing that anchor handler set. Gilheeney at the front of the handler sag. They always do leave someone available, though, by taking away the lanes and putting dancers through. Hyde as well coming over from the D-line to play this all-important final point. Well, this is more like it. Oh, wow. Helen Thompson takes away some of the actual pitch there with her cleat. Difficult one to figure out possession. Let's get another look at that one. So you can see the skid here as Thompson. So there's all the recatch. I mean, that's as close to call as anything. But the sidelines say possession was fully acquired before Thompson skied off the line. So we'll continue. Inside shot to Hyde. And that one through. Oh, well, that will finish us off, folks. SMOG do it again on Universe over Gravity. A replay of their previous match at the Spring Tour all the way back in April. where they had that 10-9 victory. So both teams punching more in the scorecard, but it's SMOG who will get the win and celebrate here in Sweden. Just another look at that final scoring possession. A little bit scuffed on the sidelines, but slicing through in the end. So SMOG, that extra break did indeed go on the board, and they are victorious here over Dublin Gravity. And you can check out how that impacts all of the standings here at the EUCS-schedule.ultimatefederation.eu, of course, all linked up with that wonderful website where you see all of the rankings. So the rest of our schedule here on our live stream, got the quarterfinals happening in the Open Division. Seagulls and Atletico will face off later this afternoon, and of course all of the final placement games in the Open and the Women's Division. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on our live stream. Catch all the action for the rest of today, and we will see you on the other side.